Alright, welcome back to Flight Sim 2020 and welcome back to the PMDG B738 800 in our beautiful green and gold Fly Safair livery. In today's video, we're going to be taking our Safair 737 on Fly Safair's longest route, which is from here at a lovely rainy Johannesburg or Tambo to over to Mauritius. So it's just over a 4-hour flight. At least that's what we got planned. As you can see, the weather's great here in Johannesburg. I haven't actually looked at the weather in Mauritius yet, but that is the plan for today's flight. If we look at Mauritius, okay, also possibly not great there either. So weather is saying visibility of 8,000, few clouds 800, scattered at 1,500, marginal VFR. So we'll see what that looks like when we get a bit closer, obviously. As always, we're going to be flying with FS2Crew. This is going to be SOP2, the kind of low-cost airline procedures, which I suppose kind of makes sense to run with Safair. Obviously, they would use their own procedures. In reality, the SOP2 FS2Crew stuff is based on Ryanair's procedures. So we're going to be using SOP2, and of course, we'll be using SLC, self-loading cargo, for our passenger simulation. There is no animated first officer for the PMDG just yet, but I believe that that is coming in the future. So when it does, we'll be able to have our first officer like we get on the Fenix and the FlyByWire. Right, that's the plan for today's flight. I think we should just jump aboard now and start getting things ready. Let's start setting up.
Roger.
Okay, so he's going to start prepping some stuff and do the walk around. Sucks to be him to go have to do the walk around in this weather. But we've got a whole bunch of things to do. So it's actually Captain's job in this SOP to get power to the aircraft. And we're going to do ground power today. Because we'll start the APU just now before the passengers start boarding. So we're just waiting for that to be available. Cool. Okay, these should be off, which they are. Landing gear down, flaps up, spoilers up. Cool. Throttles idle. Okay, we can come up here and arm the emergency lights. Then we can come down here and do some fire tests. So we'll do this one. Now we can do it for the gear as well. Okay, so we've done our fire tests. Now we can come down here and make sure that all our pins are here and make sure that this guy is closed. Then we can check that the voice recorder is set to on. Right, then we can come up here. So this guy, we need to set to test. That goes off, so we can close that again. Then these, apparently we have to wait. No, not all of them. These will work, so we can test those. But for the stall warnings to work, apparently we need to wait 4 minutes after we've started the aircraft. So it's weird that this is like so early in the kind of flow if we have to wait that long. But I'll try to remember to come back and do those. Okay, because we've done that. Cool, we can set these to nav. Check that this light is not illuminated. And make sure that our parking brake is set,
Hello,
which it now is.
Let's see what's on the books for you today.
Okay, let's get our flight plan here. Okay, the other thing I'll do is get SLC running so that we can start getting the ground crew connected and all of that, starting up APU, and then obviously our passengers can start boarding in a bit. Okay, so let's come in here and just see. QNH for Joburg is 1022. So we can dial that in. And then I'm going to come down here and we can start getting our route set up. So I want to put in the position. Okay, so let's set our fuel and payload, and then select the route, and that should now populate. So we are Safair 850 today, there we go. Okay, we can now load that route.
Hello.
Hi, Captain. Okay, so I've spoken to security and they've started checking in, but there's around another 10 minutes to go before we expect to be seeing any passengers.
Okay, you're free to start boarding whenever you're ready. Let us know when you've started.
No problem.
Okay, so we've got that information. Let's just double check here. 1022. Doesn't say anything about the rain, although that shower seems to have passed now, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, it is kind of moving that way by the looks of things. Okay, then let's go and have a look at our flight for today. So zero fuel weight 60.9. We've got 13.6 tons on board. Cost index of 0. So, okay, cool. It has filled that out. Okay, 60.9 is our zero fuel weight. Why is this changed to pounds? Interesting. Okay, let's go back. That's better. Right, reserves for today. We'll do 1.1. Cost index of 0, and we're cruising at 330. Okay, winds 280.37 minus 37. And minus 37. Cool. Transition altitude 8,000 sounds about right for departure from Joburg. Okay, do you think it's been 4 minutes? Should we see if we can test this? There we go. Cool. Right, then we could probably do with some charts. Okay, so today's departure, we are Exobi 1 Alpha. Which is not going to be under stars, it's going to be under SIDS. That's the one. Cool, transition altitude is 8,000, and that's all fairly simple, I think. Are we doing 3 left as usual today? No, we're actually 2-1 right, okay. So 2-1 right, so we're going to be on this. That's not 1 Alpha though. That would be 3 Bravo. I suppose they're all in the same thing, so it doesn't actually make that much of a difference, but we'll just make sure we program it in correct. Okay, so that's done. But let's go and do our, well, actually first we need to do the runways and then we can do performance. So we're 2-1 right, and it's Exobi 3 Bravo. We might as well set up our arrival here as well. Or Mauritius. So if we go back to the brief, we're doing runway 14. And is there any star? Doesn't look like. No, it was just direct from Soba. Okay, so it'll be ILS. We'll do ILS Zulu 14. Is there any Sobat? I thought there was. No, there isn't. Okay, we might have to have another look at that on the way there. Okay, let's go back here now. And we can come up here and do our performance. Okay, so let's import all of this. Import the weather. Cool, so runway is 2-1 right. Okay, so I'm a bit confused here because if we go down to here, our max takeoff weight here is 79.3. We have a takeoff weight of 74.5. But it's telling me, no matter what I choose here, that our max takeoff weight is around 73. So I'm just trying to figure out why that is. See, so the maximum I can get this to say is 72.6. And even if we go here, it's probably going to give us less. Yeah, it's at 65. But I'm not really sure why, because the conditions here are fine. Even the temperature is nice and low.
Go ahead. Hi, Captain. Fueling has been completed. Roger. Ground to cockpit. Go ahead. Hi, Captain. Just a quick update to let you know that we've started loading. We'll send the final load sheet up once we're ready. Roger.
So out of curiosity, let's turn this up. Go back to 5. Now it's at 70. If I go to 1, down to 68. 66. So it has to just be because of the elevation. That's the only thing. I've never had this issue before. So we might actually just have to take less payload, I suppose. If we made this even colder, doesn't seem to make that much of a difference actually. If I change this, let's say we're at sea level. So it's the elevation. But it's never given me that issue before. Okay, so we're going to need to be below 72.6. Which means we're going to have to change that zero fuel weight. We're going to have to take out some cargo. So let's go down to 2,000 here. That says we're at 73. Oh, right, we need to be 72. Wow, so we're going to have to chuck out quite a lot here. Oh, jeez. Try to put in 1,000 passengers. Okay, 72.2. Let's see what that gives us. Oh, why is this still... Because I didn't pick... Oh no, it did work. Zero fuel weight of 58.6. Oh, right. Okay, so we need to come back here and set this now. Right. Now let's import from aircraft. That's better. Okay, sure. So we're actually Payload limited on a 737 out of Joburg. That's new. Right, so now we can come back here and let's see what we've got. Select a temperature of 23. We're doing flaps 5. And this has given us 47, 48, 52, 48, 48, 52. Like so. Right. Okay, that's a new one for me. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we would have been fine even at that weight taking off from here. So I'm not 100% sure about that one. Anyway, that's now all set. We're going straight up to 33,000 today because there's no ATC. And it seems like that was just a shower that's kind of passed through. So if we look out here, yeah, there's all the clouds are around and the weather's kind of moved that way, but it's not raining anymore. Okay, then I think the passengers are probably going to board soon, so let's get the AP running so we can get some air on here.
Go ahead.
We're starting the APU. Please stand by as we'll be disconnecting from ground power shortly.
Roger. We'll monitor the startup from down here and let you know if we see anything untoward.
Right, I haven't actually looked at the temperatures, but yeah, they are high. Passenger cabin is a bit better. Oh no, sorry, this is the...
Hi, the security and safety checks are all done. Are we good to start boarding?
Go for it.
Thanks.
So what is this actually showing us? These are the duct temperatures, so the cabin temperatures we're at 30, which is still too hot. So let's get the APU up and running so we can actually turn this on, and we'll put PACX on as well. Okay, we can dial this in while we're here up to 3.3, and if we come back down here, let's see what our landing elevation is. Okay, landing elevation is 184, so we'll do 120, 200. Okay, we can go onto the APU.
Roger.
Ground to cockpit.
Go ahead.
APU startup seems good. Nothing to report.
We're off the ground power, so feel free to disconnect.
Roger. Stand by.
All stations are about to start boarding.
Ground power has been disconnected.
Okay, they're about to start with the boarding process. I think we are all done here for our setup. I guess we could put this in too. If we go back, I think this information is here. So we need runway wind and then slope. So slope is 0.02. So that's literally going to round up to 0. Wind, I guess we just put in 170 at 9. Now we get the same calculation.
I'm back.
Interesting.
No issues on all ground.
Right, then our final was 52, so we can just add 5 to that, and we'll go up to 157.
Roger. Hello.
Hi, Captain. Just to let you know that the passengers have started boarding.
Thanks.
Glide slow.
Okay, first officer's finally back. He's going to start doing his prep. We've got a couple more things that we need to do. So we can do the lights, just check that that all looks good.
Sink rate. Pull up.
Cool.
Terrain. Pull up. Don't sink.
And then we can test these as
Don't
well.
sink. Too low. Terrain.
Cool, just for
Too
these
low.
guys here.
Gear.
It actually
Too low.
looked like some
Flaps.
lightning flashing out that
Too
way.
low. Terrain. Glide slow.
Okay, he's testing the GPWS.
Bank angle.
Approaching minimums.
Alright, I'm gonna do position
25
and
minutes.
data on here.
1,000.
We can dial this down.
500.
Then I think as soon as he's done, we're going to start getting into briefings and checklists and things, because there's quite a lot to get through in these checklists.
50. 30. 20.
Here's the fuel slip.
10.
Thanks. Welcome. Have a nice flight.
Okay, in
Wind
terms
shear.
of
Wind
briefings,
shear. Wind shear. Too low. Terrain. Caution. Terrain.
okay, so we've got a fairly long taxi. If it's complaining about our takeoff weight, we're going to do full length. So we'll push to face our right, which is east. And then we will go Lima, Alpha, all the way, hold short. We could do Quebec, I suppose there's no need unless there were other aircraft out there, so we'll hold short. In fact, I know that the bigger aircraft they keep on Alpha, so maybe we'll just do that because we're one of the smaller airliners, so we'll hold short at Quebec. Okay, nice and simple. Okay, we've got a bunch more pre-flight stuff to do, and then we can get into briefings. So let's go up here to the flight control switches: normal, 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 and auto. Okay, yaw damper we can now turn on. Fuel pumps, we can turn them all on. Crossfeed valve checked. Cabin utility and IFE is on. Equipment cooling should be set to normal, which it is. Emergency exit lights are armed. Let's turn the seatbelt sign on. Window heat, we can now turn these guys all on. We'll leave the probes off for now. Hydraulic pump switch is now all on. Trim air is on. Pressurization we have set, and the packs are running on the APU. Temperature's coming down nicely, so that's cool. Let's actually maybe dial this down a little bit cooler. Right, that's on. We don't need the logo lights at the moment. It is afternoon, early afternoon. Okay, ignition left or right. Today is an even number, so we shall go right. I don't know if that's an official thing, that's just the way that I usually do it. Okay, MCP is set. We can actually go ahead and turn these on now. No, first we need to do flight directors, then we can turn these on. Okay, fuel flow reset. Let's come in here and do that. Auto brake set to RTO. Check system page. We're looking for oil pressure and quantity. That's good, and we can put it back to engine for the engine start. Okay, takeoff config warning. Push the throttles forward, and there is the warning. Parking brake is set. These should be set to normal, which they are. And then radio is set. Let's dial in our standard 1324, and we are even number, so we'll switch these over to the right. That's set. Cool, I think that's good for now. Oh, and then we just need to check that these are set to 0. Right, definitely some storms in the area. if the first officer should be setting the radar on at this stage. Like, I know you don't want to be hitting people, ground crew especially, who are so close to the front with your radar and stuff, so that I'm pretty sure should be turned on later only. Okay, let's go through the briefing. So, what do we need today? We're doing pushback, we're doing assumed temperature. AP will be off for departure, NADP 1. Anti-air is not required. Procedure is a SID, and threats will be weather.
Are you ready for departure brief?
Go ahead.
Okay, it's going to be a standard pushback and start off the start. Taxi route will be assigned by ATC. It'll be a left seat takeoff using an assumed temperature. Planning a flaps 5 takeoff. Anti-ice will be on. Standard reject actions to V1 as briefed. From V1, or if the call is continued, I will continue the takeoff as per the standard company procedures. The engine out procedure today is as per the chart. We are under our maximum landing weight, so we are okay to make an immediate return. Okay, all going well. The departure routing will be via the ATC assigned SID, complying with all the published speeds and altitude restrictions. We'll use NADP1, LNAV and VNAV are on. Flight directors are on, mine is master, yours is slave. Navigation radios are set, no TAMs and the aircraft defect log have been reviewed. The current weather poses a threat. We won't rush any procedures today. Any questions, comments or concerns?
No questions.
Departure brief complete.
Welcome on board this self-loading cargo service. Please place your large bags into the open.
Okay, so that's the briefing complete.
And keep your small items under the seat in front.
Cabin crew are addressing the passengers.
Laptops, handbags, duty-free.
Right, I think we're pretty much good to go at this point. We're kind of just waiting for the passengers to finish boarding. So I need to try and remember, once the passengers are on board, we just need to do the welcome message. That's the one thing I always forget.
Ground to cockpit.
Go ahead.
Loading has been completed. We're sending the load sheet up to you now. We're waiting for you to close up. Once the beacon light is switched on, we'll contact you to begin pushback.
Roger.
Okay, we've got a bunch of checklists to do now that we've finished prepping, and the first officer has finished all of his stuff. So let's go through that because we're probably almost done boarding. Safety inspection checklist and before start checklist to the line.
Safety inspection checklist. Surfaces and jobs.
Check.
Maintenance status.
Check.
Battery.
On.
Electrical hydraulic pumps.
On.
Landing gear lever.
Down.
Ship's library.
Check.
Safety inspection checklist completed. IRS
Hello.
Hi, Captain. Okay, we've received the load sheet from ground. There's the passenger count, the crew count and the total souls count. Plus the self-record.
Thanks.
Okay, looks like we're all set to go whenever you're ready.
Okay, great. You can close the doors whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'll let it snow and we'll get closed up as soon as we can.
Now.
All stations ready.
Gear pins.
Set and checked.
Chrome covers.
Set and checked.
Ground to cockpit.
Go ahead.
Ground tow is connected. Just a heads up, your beacon light is not active.
Roger.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, remove.
Light test.
Check.
Oxygen.
Tested 100%.
Tested 100%. Yaw damper.
On.
Nav transfer and display switches.
Normal auto.
Nav transfer and display switches. Checked.
Set and checked.
Fuel.
Set and checked.
Cabin utility IFE galley power.
On.
Emergency exit lights.
On.
Fasten belts.
On.
Window heat.
Set and checked.
Air conditioning and pressurization.
PACX auto bleed set.
Air conditioning and pressurization.
Set and check.
Pressurization, mode selector.
Auto.
Instruments.
Cross-check.
Auto brake.
RTO.
Hydraulics.
Normal.
Speed brake.
Down detail.
Parking brake.
Set.
Stabilizer trim cut out, switched.
Normal.
Wheel well, fire warning.
Check.
Radios, radar and transponder.
Set and standby.
Rudder and aileron trims.
3 and 0.
Takeoff briefing.
Discussed.
PA.
Complete.
FMC and CDU.
Set.
N1 and indicated airspeed bumps.
Set and check.
Stabilizer trim.
Set and checked.
Performance, weight and balance.
Signed and sent.
Signed and sent. Phones.
Off.
Off. Electronic flight bag.
Airplane mode and stowed.
Airplane mode and stowed. Flight deck windows and cockpit door.
Lock.
Doors.
Closed.
Doors.
Hey guys, all packs are on board. Are we clear to close?
Head to close long taxi.
Thanks, let me know if you need anything.
Closed.
Passengers.
Seated.
Before start checklist to the line completed.
Okay, so here's my issue with SLC is it's now gone into pushback mode while we were doing the checklist, and I can't close that to go and welcome the passengers, so we might actually miss out on being able to do that. That welcome passengers message you should be able to do at any point until you tell the cabin crew to be seated for takeoff. They should change that, I think. Okay, so SLC has decided that we're using GSX, which I don't have. So I'm gonna have to just do a manual pushback, and it's probably gonna just freak out here, but we'll see what happens. So chocks are removed. Nose right, cool, that's fine. Before start checklist below the line.
Before start checklist below the line. Air conditioning packs.
Off.
Anti-collision light.
On.
Parking brake.
Set.
Transponder.
Alto.
Before start checklist below the line completed.
Start sequence is 2 then 1.
Check.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go and use the built-in pushback from the PMDG, and let's see what happens, because I can't do anything in SLC now because it's waiting for GSX, which is never gonna happen. Oh, there we go, it's changed now.
Go ahead.
Tow is connected. Release parking brake when ready to push.
Roger.
Okay, so I've quickly now changed it over to the EFB so that it knows we're using the plane to push back and not SLC. So let's see how that goes.
Brakes released.
Parking brake is off. We're ready to go.
Roger. Tow is attached. Steering pin is inserted. Stand by while we start pushback.
Brakes released, here we go.
Okay, Captain. We're clear of the stand and you're free to start engines.
Starting engine 2.
Roger.
Start engine 2.
Starting engine 2.
Okay, so I'm not sure why it went into GSX mode. I've never seen that before either. So lots of interesting things happening on today's flight. We don't have this coming up for some reason. Oh, right. I'm doing it. I'm thinking back to SOP1 where the first officer turns the start switch.
Oil pressure.
All stations, please arm doors.
set your parking brake.
Parking brake is set.
Roger. Stand by. Please keep your parking brake on while we monitor engine startup and disconnect the tow.
Roger.
Yeah, just waiting for engine 2 to come up, which is almost done, and then we'll start engine 1 and be on our way.
Starter cut out.
Starting number 1.
Roger.
Number 2 stable.
Start engine 1.
Starting engine 1.
Ladies and
Oil
gentlemen,
pressure.
we now ask for your attention while we take you through the safety procedures on this aircraft. A safety card is in your seat pocket showing the exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets and brace position, which you must adopt if you hear brace. Brace. There are 2 emergency exits at the rear, 4 in the middle and 2 at the front of the cabin.
You're good to go. Contact the tower for clearance.
Please be aware that your nearest exit may be behind you.
Okay, Captain. Looks like a good startup on all engines and tow is disconnected. Nose wheel is free, so you're good to go. We'll get ourselves disconnected now, so have a safe flight. Look out for the pin on the left, and we'll see you next time.
If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above you.
Thanks very much. Pin on the left and we'll see you again soon.
Starter cut out.
Nose and mouth. Hold in place with the strap and pull on each side to adjust.
Number 1
Put on your
safe.
own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take the life jacket from under your seat. Put it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist, click together and pull the strap to adjust. Do not
Flight
inflate
controls
inside
check.
the aircraft.
Ready.
When outside, inflate by pulling the toggle.
Full
If it fails
left.
to inflate or needs topping up, blow into the tube.
Full right.
There is a light and whistle
Center.
for attracting attention. We also
Full
carry
up.
flotation aids for children.
Full
The
down.
tray table must now be stowed.
Center.
Armrest down, window blinds open and
Full
seatbelt
left.
fastened. We wish you a pleasant
Full right.
flight and thank you for flying with self-loading
Center.
cargo.
Flight controls check complete. Before taxi checklist.
Before taxi checklist. Generators.
On.
APU.
Off.
Start switches.
Continuous.
Probe heat.
On.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Air conditioning.
Pax auto bleeds on.
Isolation valve.
Auto. Set and checked.
Flaps.
Five required, 5 selected, green light.
Stabilizer trim.
Set and check. Set and check.
Start levers.
Idle D10.
Flight controls.
Check.
Recall.
Check.
Before taxi checklist completed.
Clear left.
Clear right.
Right, we're nice and heavy today. As we saw with our calculations where we had to get rid of some payload. But we are finally on our way. So we're going to taxi along the apron here. And then left on Alpha. So straight ahead onto Lima. And then it's the second left because we don't want to go into the apron on our left hand side here. We're going to go onto Alpha taxiway.
to be seated.
No problem.
See, so now this would be a good time for me to do the welcome on board, because we've got a nice long taxi. We're not really worrying about much else at this point. But yeah, because of the whole GSX freakout thing, I didn't get to actually welcome the passengers, so we'll lose a few points on the SLC flight for that, but it's not the end of the world. Right, we're going to be going all the way down to the end of the runway here. Wow, that lightning actually seems quite bad. It seems to be mostly bad off to our left. We're going to be turning out that way. I mean, I suppose it also looks kind of dark there. The lightning all seems to be here on this side. Yeah, we might as well run through our checklists while we're taxiing out. Before takeoff checklist to the line.
Before takeoff checklist to the line. Config.
Checked.
Flaps.
High 5 green light.
Stabilizer trim.
Set and checked.
Takeoff briefing.
Review.
Holding air cabin.
Secure.
Cabin. Before takeoff checklist to the line completed.
Yeah, then we just need to remember. So normally what I do is at taxiway November, so that's the 1-4 we're going to use to line up on the runway, I'll let the cabin know to take their seats, and then once we get to Quebec we'll do the below the line checklist. Right, this is the taxiway November coming up. So let's let our cabin crew know.
All stations, seats for takeoff, please.
Maybe that's a little bit earlier than necessary. Yeah, possibly a little bit earlier than necessary. We should probably be doing it along here somewhere. So the other times where I did it was in the A340-600 and the 747-8. So obviously a lot more people to take their seats and stuff. So I think in future on the 737 we can probably do it here as we come up to the helipads here. This sign is quite funny because it's somehow cut off. It's supposed to say heavy jets keep left. I don't know what happened to the left bit. I'm pretty sure it used to be there. Alright, here we are. Approach is clear on the left.
Approach is clear on the right.
Full takeoff checklist below the line.
Stand by. Before takeoff checklist below the line. MCP, cabin crew, seats for departure.
Set. Set and checked.
Transponder.
TARA.
Strobe lights.
On.
Holding and landing lights.
On.
Holding and landing lights.
Complete the checklist.
Holding and landing lights.
On.
Holding and landing lights.
Complete the checklist.
Landing lights.
On.
Before takeoff checklist below the line completed. Stabilized.
Set takeoff thrust.
Takeoff thrust set, indications normal. 80 knots. V1, rotate.
Positive rate climb. Your personal flight pilot. You can search
positive rate.
after you land.
Gear up.
Select autopilot on. Flaps 1.
Speed checked. Flaps 1.
Flaps up.
Speed checked. Flaps up.
After takeoff checklist.
Stand by. After takeoff checklist, air conditioning and pressurization 1.0 set. Altimeters.
Set standard. Passing flight level 080.
After takeoff checklist completed. Flaps up, no lights. Altimeters.
10 checks.
10 checks. Fuel 6. Pumps on. Lights. APU. Air conditioning and pressurization 2.1. Fasten belts. Happy to release the cabin? Recall monitor 121.50 on VHF2.
Go for it.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelts fastened while the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. Toilets are located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time. This includes e-cigarettes. In just a few moments we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase from our selection of fresh food available today. All details can be found in your in-flight brochure. You can also purchase a selection of hot beverages together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, and if we can be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign, so you are now free to move around the cabin. However, for your safety, we do recommend that you remain seated with your belt fastened at all times during the flight. Thank you.
Good afternoon once again from the cockpit. I hope all is well with you and you're enjoyed flying with us so far. We're currently climbing up to our cruising altitude, so I thought I'd give you a quick update. We're making good progress towards our destination and expect to arrive on time as planned. You'll next hear from me just before we start our descent. I'll be sure to keep you updated if anything changes, but in the meantime, please feel free to relax and take advantage of our onboard facilities. Thanks very much.
Right, there we are, powering our way out of Joburg. The weather actually looks fine up here. It's all that kind of low-level cloud that seems a bit stormy. Right, we just passed through 15,000 feet, and we've got a good 3.5 hours-ish to go all the way over to Mauritius. So I will leave you with a nice wing view for the cruise, and catch you again when it's time to prep for our descent into Mauritius. Alright, so we're about half an hour from our top of descent, so let's just let our cabin crew know that, and then we can kind of look at starting to prep our arrival into Mauritius.
Hello, Captain.
There's around 30 minutes left to run before we start descending, just in case you wanted to bring any remaining services forward.
In that case, we'll do final drink service. Some of the passengers are pretty thirsty.
No problem.
Cool, that's perfect. Then, let's go. You have control?
I have control.
Okay, so first officer has control, which means we can go and mess around with some stuff here. So let's go over here. Right, so the weather actually looks fine now. QNH 1011. Scattered clouds 1600. Scattered at 5000. Temperature of 28. And winds 120 at 3. So IDS 14 is still going to be the best option. Okay, if we go to our charts, we are going to want the airport chart, and then of course we don't actually have a SID, but perhaps we should use one. Okay, this is actually easier to do on the Navigraph app because I can just see all the different stars, and then we can check one. I think I said SID earlier, I meant star. Let's bring that up. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly do this on my phone. Right, so the waypoint that makes the most sense for us is Passau or Ibis. Not Ibis, Ibsis. So for 14 right, what have we got available? We do have Pass. We don't have Oh, this flak one is also a possibility. Okay, so let's see what's going to work best. So we are going to be doing the ILS Zulu for runway 14. And according to Navigraph, our best option is PACX 2 Echo. Cool. So we're going to replace Sobat with PACX because they're kind of next to each other. Right, that looks fine. Drag required, that's okay. We'll deal with it in the descent. Okay, then we can come back here. So we are PACX 2 Echo, which is this one. And then of course our approach is ILS, that's Yankee. ILS Zulu, there we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to serve our drinks menu. Choose our menu of hot tea and coffee or a number of soft drinks. Please make sure your tray table is in the down position and clear any items from the aisle. Thank you.
Okay, so this is actually fairly simple. So we'll now be going from SDG, which is that VOR there, which is basically where our top of descent is as well. From there, direct to PACX. PACX to MP 156. 154 below 10,000 feet. And ECBEL above 6,000 feet. So that should be in here, below 10,000. And above 6,000. Right, then we transition onto the actual arrival. Onto the approach. So what we need to do is add this ECBEL transition in here. So if we go here, we need to add in that. Okay, SDG PACX, then from there, that looks better. Right, are there any restrictions on this? It doesn't look like it. Cool, and then missed approach, obviously we just come back around. So that's actually quite simple. What is this? Let's actually get rid of this stuff. Where's this? Is that just to say the 136? Okay, so we are 109.9136. Okay, we intercept at 3,200 feet. Missed approach, climb to 4,000, and then we'll follow this procedure. What did I say? This was 3.2, yeah. Okay, so we'll dial this down to 3,200. Okay, minimums. 277, so we'll do 461 Barrow actually. This might take a while. Cool, that's set. Right, frequency is 1099136 on the course. So let's come here and do 1099 136. Set 109.90 on nav 2.
Roger.
Set course on your side 136.
136. Set.
Cool, that's done. Right, I think that's pretty much it for the setup. Again, the weather is pretty chilled. I just want to see if there's an update to this. Doesn't seem like it. Seems like that's the latest. Right. Okay, let's run the brief. So, arrival is a star, and then we're doing ILS. It'll be flaps 40. It bleeds on, runways dry, auto brake. Level 2, single engine taxi not required. We'll be parking at a gate. APU after landing threats. Is there any significant terrain around the airport that we need to worry about? Yes, there is. So that's 4,000 feet. We're already going to be 3,200, so we'll have terrain as one of our threats to consider. The weather seems fine. Final sector, no it isn't. Right. Decision height was... So decision height is 277. Missed approach altitude is 4.5, or no, 4. Final approach fixed altitude. So that would be 3.2. Okay, we're landing runway 14.
In a few moments we will be starting our in-flight movie. If you require headphones, please contact the flight attendant and we'll be happy to help. For those of you who brought your own, you can plug them into the armrest to the side. Choose channel 11 on the in-flight entertainment system. Thank you.
Okay, let's run that
ready
briefing.
for the approach brief?
Okay.
The arrival routine will be via the ATC assigned star, complying with all the published speed and altitude restrictions. For an ILS approach, planning a flaps 40 landing. Final approach fixed altitude is 3,200 feet. Decision altitude is 277 feet. Missed approach altitude is 4,000 feet. Taxi route in will be assigned by ATC. We'll be arriving at a gate. The local terrain poses a threat, so we will treat all GPWS terrain alerts as genuine. Descent speeds and navigation radios are set. Airport NOTAMs have been reviewed. Any questions, comments or concerns?
No questions.
Approach brief complete.
Okay, let's go and double check our fuel. So we're predicting 4.9 at top of descent, which is interesting since we're already at 4.9, and 3.8 on arrival, which is fine. There was something else that I wanted to check. Oh yes, transition altitude 4,000. So let's go here and we can go to forecast. That's got it as 5,000. Why they start the movies now when we're about to descend.
Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the film.
actually quite bumpy up here. Very bumpy. Okay, I think we're pretty much done with our descent prep. I have control.
You have control.
Descent checklist.
Descent checklist. Pressurization.
Landing altitude 200 set.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Approach briefing and fuel.
Discussed.
Indicated airspeed and altimeter bonus.
Set and check.
Descent checklist completed.
Right, then the other thing I just want to look at is, let's come back to this and just have a look at our airport. Okay, we also need to let the passengers know when we're going to descend, so let's just go here quick. So top of descent, 1441, we are 1426, so at 31 we can let them know that we've got 10 minutes. I suppose, there's no 15 minutes, it's 10, 20 and 30. Okay, so 31 we'll tell them 10 minutes. Right, we're coming in 14, and we're probably going to vacate Delta. And then, very simple, what is this taxiway? Yankee in to the terminal. Let's maybe go get these parking stands and have a look. I'm actually going to turn the seatbelt signs on.
Cabin crew, please be seated. Good afternoon once
That's
again.
not what I wanted.
I hope you're enjoying the flight so far. Just a quick broadcast to let you know that we will be keeping the seatbelt signs on for a few more minutes as there may be some light turbulence as we climb through the clouds. Keep an eye on the overhead panel, and as soon as we're clear I'll turn off the sign and you'll be able to move around the cabin. Thank you. Cabin crew, you're free to move around the cabin.
Release the cabin crew. I didn't mean to actually tell them to sit down. Okay. Do we have... Right, so this is the terminal. So is this. These are bigger gates, so I think let's take 9. So if we go back to pinned, this will be easier to find. Right, so we're in the middle there, so we'll do Delta, Yankee, and then Hotel November into the stand. Actually, we could probably do Golf and go pretty much straight in. Let's do that rather. Down to Golf, straight in. I'm going to change the auto brake value, because with auto brake 2 we're probably going to end up somewhere over there. And in fact, this is the other thing we can do. Yeah, it's so hard to click on these things with us bouncing around so much. Okay, runway. Oh come on, man. 14. Packs will be on. Anti-ice off. Definitely not max manual. We'll do auto brakes 1. None, and just add 5 to the VRAC. Right, now does that mean, yeah, we're going to use pretty much the entire runway? Okay. Wow, we're not landing flaps 15. That's why. Oh wow, this is impossible. Okay, that's better. So that puts us... So this is one thing that I don't actually know, is why do the charts not give us distances from the end of the runway to each of the intersections? Like, that has always baffled me. And then like they give you the scale. I suppose I could get a ruler and take that and measure it along there, but that seems a bit unnecessary. Never mind. This one actually has it. Okay, cool. I thought it would just be like next to them there would make sense. Okay, but this one does have underneath. That's not actually always the case. Okay, so Delta is 8,400 feet, 2,600 meters. Let's round it up. And we're expecting to use 2,300, which means we'll be able to exit at Delta with auto brakes 1. If we do flaps 30, okay, let's try that again. It's very, very close. So I think we'll do flaps 30 and we will take taxiway Delta. So let's go and just make those adjustments. So we will be flaps 30, which gives us a VRAC of 151. And we'll be auto brake 1 as well. Okay, we've just gone past 31, so we can let our passengers know.
Good afternoon once again from the cockpit. I hope all is well with you and you enjoyed flying with us so far. We'll be starting our descent in approximately 10 minutes. The arrival weather forecast is looking good, so it should be a nice easy approach into the airport. We're not expecting any delays, so we should be able to land fairly quickly. Once we do begin descending, please listen carefully to the cabin crew and pay special attention to their instructions and also the seatbelt sign, which I will be illuminating before landing. Thanks for flying with us, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Cool, I think we are pretty much prepped and ready for our arrival into Mauritius. Alright, there we go. We've just begun our descent into the island of Mauritius. I've got my terrain radar on. I know it's kind of early to do that, but I'm just going to leave it on so we can just be aware of any terrain, because obviously there are some high mountains or hills around the airport. And I think just... those are mostly clouds out there, but I think those clouds are sitting just over the island of Mauritius. Okay, so we just come through 15,000 feet. I think I'm going to get the cabin crew to start prepping for landing.
Cabin crew, prepare the cabin for landing.
What a stunning, I guess, early evening now. Absolutely awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be landing. Please ensure your cabin bag is safely stowed with your laptop inside. Your tray table must be stowed, armrest down and window blind open. You now need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened ready for landing. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers or magazines that you do not want to take with you. The toilets are no longer in service. Thank you.
Okay, so we're already below the 250 knot restriction for 10,000 feet. So that's pretty chill. Look at that sun. Well, the sun is setting behind us, but what a beautiful evening. Okay, that is all set. I just want to double check if we have new weather. And it doesn't appear that we do. That's kind of old. 14 Zulu. So that's just under an hour old. So we should be getting a new one just after 15. So probably a couple minutes before we land, we can maybe get some updated weather.
Altimeters.
10 checks.
10 checks. Cabin crew, 10 minutes to landing. Fuel 4. Pumps on. Lights. Angle of bank. Air conditioning and pressurization 4.4. Fasten belts. Recall 121.50 selected.
Right, just coming through 10,000 feet, we can now see the island up ahead, and there is quite a bit of cloud, but nothing that looks like it's going to affect our approach at all. I mean, they did say ceiling, they had scattered 1600 and scattered at 5000. Okay, it's just gone 1500. Do you think the metal's updated already? Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay, let's double check. We've got frequencies set. 1099 and 136 on the course. Oh, it looks like we're actually picking up the ILS already. Yeah. Localizers are live. Glide slope not yet. 22. Oh, there we go. Glide slope is now live. 22 nautical miles to go. Mental updates. Nope. Oh, that is the island of St. Denis. That's what I was saying earlier, but the airport we were flying over is Reunion. Flaps 5.
Speed checked.
Okay, I want to get the flaps out just to help us slow down here.
Flaps 5.
Arm approach.
Approach armed.
Don't actually see the runway.
Hello.
Hi, Captain. Everything is pursuit ready for landing.
We're almost ready, actually, so you can take your seat
There's
now.
the runway.
No problem. Wall station. Landing, please.
Gear down, flaps 15.
Speed checked. Flaps 15. Gear down.
Landing checklist to flaps.
Landing checklist to flaps. Start switches.
Continuous.
Recall.
Checked.
Speed brake.
Armed, green lights.
Landing gear.
Down 3 green.
Auto brake.
1 set.
Holding up flaps.
Probably put the gear and stuff out way too early. I thought we were going to need to descend a little bit quicker and that we were going to run into issues with, but since we're sitting at 70% power, that's obviously not the case. Okay, we are on the ILS now, captured. Right, landing checklist up to flaps is done, so it's just, I think it's only flaps after that. First approach altitude is set. And we are good to go.
2500.
Okay, so VREF will be 151. Flaps 30.
Speed checked.
30 green light.
Flaps 30. Holding at landing lights.
On.
Holding at landing lights.
On.
Landing checklist completed.
Okay, so interesting thing to note, when he says landing lights, he doesn't actually mean the landing lights. He means all the lights we need on for landing. Set altimeter 1011. Set speed 151.
151. Set.
Set heading 135.
1,000.
135. Set.
Set altitude 4,000.
4,000. Set.
It's actually quite windy. We've got 22 bouncing between 22 and 27, but it's almost dead on the nose, so we should be fine. Right, here we go.
Feet.
Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Continue.
Minimums.
50. 30. 20. 10.
That wasn't the softest landing I've seen.
Speed brake up.
Taxi to parking and shut down your engine.
Auto brake disarmed. Reverse as normal. 72%. 100 knots. 80 knots. 60 knots.
No, I'm not sure. Where is taxiway Delta? Oh, that was it there. There's no lights going out that way. That's why I didn't take it. Okay, let's just go to the end. See, but I don't see a taxiway out there.
On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your self-loading cargo journey.
Unless it's like on the other side of those bushes. Yeah, well, that seems far. I don't think the default scenery matches the charts. That's what it is.
Thank you.
Yeah, see, there's no taxiway out there. Okay, that's a pity. Okay, we can turn off a couple of things here. We will leave the lights and the strobes and everything on until we actually exit the runway completely. See, now, does this actually have a taxiway here? Doesn't look like it. See, those green taxi lights are for that little turnaround area. So, I keep doing that. What's the next one? Charlie. Hopefully that's there. Oh, there's a taxiway there. Yeah, that goes towards the GA apron, so we're definitely not taking that one. Some green taxi lights up ahead, so we should be able to take Charlie. So we're gonna go Charlie Yankee Golf into the stand. Assuming all of those places exist. Right, since we're exiting the runway, our first officer can now get things cleaned up. That says Juliet. Oh, Juliet up ahead. He started the APU and he switched off lights and he's done flaps. Cool. See, now I'm not sure which taxiway we're actually on. Is this Yankee? No, Yankee doesn't exist. So the main taxiway is supposed to be over there. So we're now on November. Fine. We can take November into the stand.
APU on the buses.
Okay, we do actually have two separate buildings, so that's cool. We're kind of going to the middle of the second building here.
Disarm the doors, please.
Right, this is where we are going in. We were gonna take the middle one, but let's take this first one because we actually have marshallers there. Now, I should turn off our taxi lights, but then I'm not gonna be able to see anything, and there's no line here. Okay, there I can see the marshaller. If I turn this off, I can't see them at all. He's saying, oh, there his stick was glowing for a second there.
3 minutes.
There we go. Can I actually turn this off now? Yeah, I can. Now I'm literally just going by what he says. Because all I can see are his glowing sticks.
Once that happens, we will start deboarding and you'll be able to leave the aircraft. Thank you.
Getting quite close here, buddy. Okay, he didn't tell me to stop. Right, let's get things shut down.
Start your engine.
Go ahead.
Hi, Captain. Microphone check, please.
Loud and clear.
Roger. Okay, Captain. Ground power is available. Stand by. We'll start getting you offloaded in a couple of minutes.
Roger. Cabin crew, the aircraft is secure. Please open the doors when ready and begin deboarding.
Ladies and gentlemen, your portable electronic devices must...
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for flying with us. We do apologise for the delay and hope it does not impact your onward journey too much.
Apparently we arrived a little bit
If you
late.
require further assistance, please contact our ground team once you enter the terminal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, these should be off, which they are. Voice recorder on. That's interesting. PACX auto, APU bleed on. Oh, APU bleed off. Start switch is off. Parking brake sets, transponder. Standby. Cool. Transit shutdown checklist.
Electrical.
On APU.
Fasten belts.
Off.
Probe heat.
Off.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Voice recorder.
On.
Air conditioning packs.
Auto.
Engine bleeds.
On.
APU bleed.
Off.
Exterior lights.
Steady and logo set.
Start switches.
Off.
Auto brake.
Off.
Speed brake.
Down detent.
Flaps.
Up no lights.
Parking brake.
Set.
Start levers.
Cut off.
Weather radar.
Off.
Transponder.
2000 standby.
CVRCB.
In.
Cockpit door.
Unlocked.
Transit shutdown checklist completed.
Right, there we are. Can't actually see very much here, but welcome. We made it safely to Mauritius and just over 4.5 hours flight time, so pretty cool flight. I believe that he's still saying come forward, look at him. I believe this is Safair's longest flight. The next one we're going to do is what I reckon is their second longest flight, which takes us up to Zanzibar. So that'll be cool. I've actually got some add-on scenery for Zanzibar, so we won't run into any issues where part of the airport doesn't exist. But anyway, that is going to be for another video. For now, if you made it all the way to this part of the video, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you did enjoy it, you know what to do down below, and I'll see you in the next video.